Okay, so these are the APIs we have done. Get. Okay, let me list down all the APIs. Then yeah, okay, these are the APIs. Right. Now let's see some other APIs, some more APIs today. Cleanse. Okay, so cleanse API is something where you can call a cleanse function. Simple. So if there is a cleanse function and if you just want to call the cleanse function, then it's useful. So why will someone do something like that? Let's say you have SAP. From SAP, someone wants to call a MDM cleanse function, let's say address cleanse logic. So they can call it, okay, using this cleanse method. Let's try to call a sample request, copy, okay, then replace this cleanse. Then the name of the cleanse function. So go to the cleanse functions. The name of the cleanse function will be string functions. This. Then let's say uppercase. Uppercase. What are the parameters you need to pass? Just one parameter, that is string. All these things you don't need to give. Okay, so only one input string out, and the value is, let's say, Sunil in small, and if I kick off, I'll get response in uppercase. So you can see clearly my input is in lowercase, output is in uppercase. Okay, that's what this cleanse function is. Cleanse put we have seen. Clean table is nothing but truncating tables. We will see clean table very soon. And now out of all these APIs, some APIs that are important is there are two APIs, execute batch delete and execute batch unmerge. So this one, execute batch delete and execute batch unmerge. Delete. Execute batch delete, let's try to understand what is this. This is hard delete. So if you want to do hard delete any record in MDM, then you have to use execute batch delete. Okay, so let's see how we can perform hard deletes. First check if there is any data, if any data is there or not. Just 1 minute. Yeah, so C underscore party. Okay, there is a record. Okay, and in xref there is a record. So let's say I would like to delete this record. I want to delete this record. So what you have to do is create a temporary table. You have to create a temporary table. Okay, create as select where, let's say you want to delete this record, right? So where row id underscore xref is equal to this. Okay, so in this table it will contain just one record. Okay, this is what it will contain. So this is the prerequisite to use execute batch delete. If you want to use execute batch delete, this is something you must do, then only you can use it. Now you go here and execute batch delete, just open that. Okay, paste it. So the name of the table that you want to delete, I'd like to delete party table, so I'm giving party. Remaining this thing you can delete, and this is the name of the temporary table that I just created. So if you remember, I just created T table, right? So T table here, T. So that is why I see T here, and then execute. Okay, this must be same, right? Then execute. Okay, so what is the problem? This is the problem. Okay, over a sample, change it. I got a message that one record in base object deleted, one record in cross reference deleted. So if I go and check this, it's gone. Okay, so this is how you hard delete records in MDM. This is the only way of hard deleting records. Okay, you're not supposed to go to the database and say delete it. Okay, this is the only way to delete records. That's what this API is, execute batch delete. Then you also have something called as execute batch unmerge, which is basically used to unmerge records. So execute batch unmerge is used to unmerge records. It's pretty much similar to execute batch delete. So the way you create a temporary table and call it, here also the logic is the same. You do it that way. Okay, no difference. That's the thing. So you can try execute batch unmerge later. And from here to here, this is all about running the jobs, executing jobs. We normally don't call them from SIF because I mean same feature is there in batch viewer, batch group. So no need to call them here. But out of this, these two are useful. Execute batch delete and execute batch unmerge. These two, they are useful.
Sunil, one question, Sunil.
Yeah.
For hard deletion, we can use this execute delete. For soft deletion, what can we do?
For soft delete, you have to use a technique called as HDD, hard delete detection. There is a feature in MDM called as HDD, that is called as hard delete detection from source. Hard delete hard delete detection from source. So it means detecting hard deletes from source but performing soft delete in MDM. So in MDM you will do soft delete, but in source it is hard deleted. Okay, this is called as HDD, hard delete detection. Hard delete detection, if you want to do, this is closely related to delta. So delta processing, it's related to delta processing. What you have to do is, there are a lot of manual steps actually to perform this activity. So
Mhm.
see, if you want to do that, go here, there you need to create one table manually and then insert lot of system columns into that. Okay, so it's clearly mentioned here in configuration guide, HDD, this one. Okay, hard delete detection. Okay, so see, hard delete detection, you have to create all these things. So this table you have to create, and then all these constraints you have to add. So whatever is written in this document, you just need to implement it. It's a manual step. Now once you do that, then this is how the hard delete will work. See, for example, see here. So before deletion, you can see there is a, sorry, I mean this is HDD, but it is soft delete. This feature is actually soft delete. It is called as HDD, means HDD from source, hard delete detection from source. Okay, so delete code is A means active. This is also active. This is party table. This is xref table. Okay. Now, if a record is deleted from source, then here it will change to I. I means inactive. Here also it will change to I, inactive. So this is soft delete. Okay. Where the record will remain as it is, just that we will soft delete it. So indicator we will change it from A to I. This is called as soft delete.
But yeah, it can be changed by using upstate indicator also, right?
Upstate
From 1
indicator
to minus.
is not suggested method. So you can do that, but still half state indicator is not suggested. But yes, a lot of companies they will do using half state indicator, change it to -1.
Actually, we are using it, but for soft deletion, we use stored procedure there, set up state.
Yeah, this feature whatever you see here earlier it will be in stored procedures only. From new version onwards, this is in like change the feature.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Execute batch on merge, and then get is something we have seen, and from here to here it's about getting some values. For example, get the merge history, get the ORS list which we have seen, get BVT best version of truth, get graph. All these are not necessary, we won't use it ever. This can be useful, get trust score. So if you want to see the trust of a particular person, let's say Sunil is there, so you want to see the trust of Sunil, how much is the account value, then you can use this API. Because trust calculations are not stored in table, it's stored internally. Then merge, multi-merge. Linking feature is not there anymore. So in version 10, there is no linking. Linking feature is gone. Linking means soft merge. So soft merge. So there is no concept of soft merge. Merge means hard merge only in version 10. So these two Informatica will probably remove it down the line. Merge, multi-merge. So we've got merge, multi-merge. Both are same only. Merge will merge the records and multi-merge will also merge the records, but in merge you can only merge two records. In multi-merge you can merge more than two records. That is the difference. So 3, 4, 5 records you can merge in multi-merge. That's the difference. Then put we have seen, which was important. And if you want to create an index, so let's say a custom index, a index that's not there, you want to create on party table or xref table something, then you have to use register custom index. Search query we have seen, search match, the way we have seen search query. So similarly we have search match. Search match is for fuzzy matching. So if you want to use fuzzy style of matching, then you have to use search match. Then you have unmerge, and from here to here it's all about nothing but repository manager. So all these are repository manager features. Normally we'll never use them directly here because they're already there in the tool repository manager, so no need to call them here. Okay, so execute batch unmerge. So these are the, you will see that there are some APIs that are important, not all the APIs. Okay, and and I told you like how these APIs are useful in reality. This is how it is used. See, so MDM SAP. Normally the important API is this for integration, real-time integration. These are the APIs. So either SAP wants to read a customer from MDM or write a customer to MDM, then this is how it will be done. From SAP will communicate with what? SAP will communicate with MDM, but not directly. An EI will come into picture. EI means integration software like TIBCO, MuleSoft. So TIBCO, I think you would have heard. TIBCO, MuleSoft, or Oracle SOA. Okay. So what this will do? This will do the same thing what this tool does. Whatever this tool is doing, right? It will do the same thing. So see this, then CIF, then MDM. Let's say put API. So see, logic is very simple. From SAP, I want to create a customer in MDM. Okay, from SAP, I want to create a customer in MDM. Now, what will happen is SAP will send the message, new customer message to EI. EI will trigger the put API, but not directly. I mean, it will do it directly, but with parameters. So let's say a new customer called as John was created. So EI will send the details John to this SIF API that will create a customer in MDM. Okay, and then MDM replies that okay, done. Okay, and then this, then this. So the transaction completes. So it's like this. So this is start of transaction. This is end of transaction. That is how this is used in real time. So how AI guys will call it, you don't need to worry. You just need to give the this WSDL file you need to give it to the AI guys, and you need to tell them which parameters you would like to use. So the table name, source table name, and this, whichever parameter you want to use, you just tell them, they will configure it. Okay, so that's what safe is. You practice on the safe, then you'll be more comfortable. We'll move on to hierarchy today.
And then one more question.
Yeah,
So from SAP, the TIPCO will receive in the form of XML or
XML messages. So normally SAP will send data in XML messages, but it will be internal XML, not normal XML, like some SAP format. So EI has to convert this XML message to a text message. So in order to read all these records, so that interpretation that will be done by EI. You have to provide the XST file. The SAP team has to provide the XST file. Then they will interpret the message.
so they will give that in the to SIF in the form of after
S-
that SIF will yeah.
the same thing. The way you are passing the values here, so you have to pass table name and all that, right? So they will
Mhm.
pass it the way you are calling it here. Same way they will call it using SOAP. SOAP protocol, not SOAP tool. They won't use this tool, but this tool will simulate whatever they are doing. Okay. So in runtime, when they are calling this as a web service using this, they have to send this table name and source table name, these values.
Okay.
Same logic, the only thing you are doing it manually by giving the values, manual values here, and that will be automated, that's it. And whatever values they are reading, right? So the name of the customer, the email ID of the customer, that thing they will pass it to the safe program. So here I'm manually hard coding this, I'm hard coding this value. So there
Hmm.
it won't be hard coded, it will be dynamically passed. That's the only logic.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Now let's see the hierarchy. Hierarchy logic is actually very basic and simple. It's nothing complicated. What is complicated in hierarchy is the configuration slightly. So what is the reason? The reason is Informatica has made it slightly complex. Otherwise it's actually very simple hierarchy. Okay. Okay. So hierarchy. What exactly is hierarchy? Hierarchy is very simple. See, now hierarchy is nothing. I mean, it's not like it's just related to MDM or something. Hierarchy is very generic, very normal. Okay, normal day-to-day life you will see hierarchy. So like let's say son, then father, then grandfather. So all these are nothing but they are hierarchy. Okay, son reports to father, father reports to grandfather, right? So this is the hierarchy in a family, family hierarchy you will say. Very easy to understand, right? Now similarly if you go to a company, in a company you will have hierarchy like Amit is there and Amit is reporting to Vinay and Vinay is probably reporting to Ajit, let's say. So this is the hierarchy of a employee, right? Now a product hierarchy. So let's say I've got iPhone 7s, let's say, then that will report to iPhone 7, that will report to iPhone, which is the group, and it will report to iPhone, Apple mobiles, and that will return to Apple all products. Okay, so this is the hierarchy of a product hierarchy. This is employee hierarchy. This is family hierarchy, right? Now in a hospital, so if you see in a hospital, patient will be there. Patient will report to, let's say, the nurse or some junior doctor, then that will report to a doctor. Doctor will report to a senior specialist doctor, senior doctor, something like that. Then dot dot dot. Okay, this can be the hierarchy of a hospital. So hierarchy means simple only. Now in our person organization, in our customer DM data model, CDM means customer data model. What is hierarchy? Hierarchy here is I've got person, I've got organization. So I've got two things, person and organization. Okay. Now so in there can be hierarchy for persons, there can be hierarchy for organizations. Okay. So for persons means it will be something like this. So let's say there is a person called as John. There is a person called as
Frank. Okay, and John is a person, Frank is person. The relationship between Frank and John is Frank is the sales agent of John. Okay, that is the relationship between John and Frank. Or let's say Frank is the father of John. We are also interested in this information. Why? Because it will help us. We will know that we've got 5 customers and they are part of the same family. So it will help us in marketing. Okay. So father of, that is the relationship between two persons. Similarly, the relationship between two companies, there is something called as Cisco. There is something called as Cisco Cloud. Okay. So Cisco Cloud. Cisco Cloud is a subsidiary company of Cisco. That is the relationship between this and this. Cisco Cloud is a subsidiary of Cisco. That is the relationship between two organizations. Now, can there be relationship between a company and an organization? Definitely. I mean, let's say Ajay works for IBM. So this is the relationship between Ajay, who is a person, and IBM. Or Ajay is a freelancer for IBM. Whatever it is, the relationship between a person and company. Or a company and person is company hires, or employer is the employer of this person. Right? So that is the relationship between this person organization. So you understood, right? Hierarchy is something that is a very natural activity. So hierarchy will be there with any data. Okay. So we are basically interested in this kind of hierarchy, understanding this. Now you understood what is hierarchy somewhat, but now the question is, 1 minute. Okay. So you understood what is hierarchy, but what exactly do we do here in this hierarchy? See, hierarchy is not useful for us. Hierarchy,
Muted. Unmuted.
yeah, my connection was lost for a minute. And now it should be fine. Okay, now you got what is hierarchy. Hierarchy is very simple logic, but why do we need hierarchy? Why do we need to have hierarchy in place? Basically, the reason is hierarchy will we will not need hierarchy. Okay, MDM for MDM guys, it's not useful. Hierarchy is useful for downstream applications. So downstream application will definitely like to know that if they've got a company like Cisco and they've got something called as Cisco Cloud, then downstream companies will like to understand that Cisco uh, Cloud is a subsidiary company of Cisco. They would like to understand this thing. It's important, critical for them downstream, like data warehouses, CRM applications. Okay, so that is the reason why we would go with hierarchy in MDM, because downstream applications need it. For us, it's not useful as such. Okay, but important for downstream, right? Now let's say how to see concept wise. I think you understood what is hierarchy. There should not be an issue. Now if I have to implement hierarchy, just imagine what I need to do. For example, see, I've got a table called a C underscore party. In that table I have a customer 101 John Smith. Okay, and another one 803 Frank Smith. I've got 2 customers. Okay, now I would like to support hierarchy. It means if there is any relationship between Frank Smith and John Smith, I would like to explain that. So currently, can you tell me what is the relationship between Frank Smith and John Smith? Can you tell me? You can't, because using this information you can't say that what is the relationship. So in order to support that, in order to, let's say I will tell you that okay, Frank is father of John. Frank is father of John. So what you will do is you will create a table called as C party underscore RL table. In that table you will store like 803 101 101. The relationship is father of. Clear? Simple one, right? So 803 101 father of. Okay. So now if I join these two tables, I can understand that okay, so Frank is father of John. Okay. Now again, one thing is for sure that, so one thing, from where I'll get this information? From where I will get this information? Will I get this information from source, or will I create this information in MDM? You will never create this thing in MDM. Okay. You will get this from the source. You just need to use it. That's it. Clear? You can't create it in this thing in MDM. Whatever is coming from the source, you will just use that thing. Okay. You normally, that's the correct thing. Okay. So hierarchy is all about creating a table called a C party RL and populating values like this. That's what all hierarchy in MDM is all about. Okay. But to do that, we have a lot of procedures. I mean procedures in the sense, not PL SQL procedures, but steps. So you need to do some certain steps, go step by step in order to implement the hierarchy. Okay. So you need to remember these steps. So let me open this and I'll go through that. Okay. So let's go through this party one. Okay. See here. You know a party table. You have seen a party table, right? In party table, we have row ID object. We have the name, party name, and then the party type. So what is party type? What is party type? Party type contains what? Person, organization, right? That is what the party type will contain, person, organization, and party description if you want to give. Okay, so you know this table, you know this party table. Now see, try to understand that whatever party table you have created, you can't use that. I mean directly, you can't use that table in your in hierarchy. Clear? So you got table like party, you can't directly use that in party table, in sorry, in hierarchy. If you want to use this, you have to change it to entity base object. See, you know what is a base object, isn't it? You know what is a base object, you know this, right? But in hierarchy, we have to, a base object cannot be used. You have to use the entity base object and ERBO means entity relationship base object. So party table, the base object that we have created, cannot be used. Here we have to use either an entity base object or an entity relationship base object. Okay, that should be clear. Now what is the difference between base object and entity base object? That is the question. What is the difference between base object and entity base object? Okay, the difference is, you will see that entity base object, you have a foreign key to this system table. Okay, and you can see technically if I go directly, then party type, that is person, organization, is the foreign key to this table, CRBO class. Is it mandatory? Yeah, it is mandatory. It's mandatory that this party type should be a foreign key. That is mandatory. There is no escape route. And that is the main difference between normal base object and an entity base object. This foreign key is mandatory to CRBO class. What is CRBO class? It is a system table. Clear? It's not something that we have created. This is a system table, CRBO class. So just imagine what CRBO class will contain. Can you guess what it will contain? So this is a foreign key to this table, right? So definitely this thing will contain nothing but this value, right? Person and organization. That's what it will contain. Person, organization. Clear? So CRBO class is a system table that will contain person, organization. We will create these tables, right? Now, so this is the relationship between these two. Either the join can be based on row ID object or BO class code. Normally we use the code. And from data point of view, this is the party table data. 1 Sunil person, 2 IBM cloud organization, 3 IBM organization. Simple data, right? You know this data. It's just a sample data. Okay. Now the relationship between these records. Clear? The relationship between Sunil, IBM cloud and IBM. Okay. So that is mentioned here. Okay. IBM cloud is employer of Sunil and IBM is parent of IBM cloud. Clear? IBM cloud is employer of Sunil and IBM is parent of IBM cloud. That is the relationship between these three guys. Clear? Clear, right? So the same thing, whatever I've written here, it's the same information here, but instead of mentioning the name, I put the IDs. So you see here, IBM cloud and Sunil, the relationship is employer of. So IBM cloud is 2 and 1, right? So 2 and 1 relationship is employer of. So 2 to 1 relationship is employer of. And 3 to 2, the relationship is parent of, right? Same thing I have rewritten. Whatever it is here, same thing I have rewritten. Right? Now where will you store this information? You have to store this information somewhere, right? Can I store this information in the party table? No, I should not, I can't. So where should I store this information? To store that information, that is this hierarchy, Sunil reports to IBM Cloud reports to IBM. To store that information, I need to create a table, okay? And that table is party underscore RL. That is the table party underscore RL. So in this table, I will store the relationship between party ID, this thing, whatever data you are seeing, this data I will store it in party RL table. Okay, so I will have party ID 1, party ID 2, that is nothing but this is party ID 1, this is party ID 2. Okay, and hierarchy type, this is just dummy. Okay, dummy hierarchy type. So let's say customer hierarchy. And rel type is nothing but this thing, employer of, parent of, that is called as the rel type. Okay, now you know what is a this thing, you know, right? A base object you know already, and today you have seen what is an entity base object. In entity base object, one foreign key is mandatory. So this entity base object is nothing but C underscore party, right? Now entity relationship base object is nothing but C underscore party underscore RL table. So here one foreign key was mandatory. Here four foreign keys are mandatory. Four foreign keys are mandatory. Clear? So here base object nothing is mandatory, and in entity base object one foreign key is mandatory, and in entity relationship base object four foreign keys are mandatory. It's mandatory, right? So which are the keys? Just see here. The party ID is a foreign key to which table? Party table, isn't it? Because see, what is this party ID? Party ID is 2, right? 2 1. What is this 2? 2 is nothing but it's pointing to the party table. 1 is also pointing to party table. So party ID 1 and party ID 2, it's nothing but it's foreign key. Okay, it's just foreign key. Hierarchy type is a foreign key to CRBO hierarchy table. Why? It's mandatory. So there is no question why it should be like that. It is mandatory that this must be a foreign key to this table. And rel type, it's a foreign key to CRBO rel type. First of all, what is party ID? What is party ID 1? I have told you 2 1. What is hierarchy type? This is just dummy. So dummy, let's call it as customer. Okay. Now rel type means the relationship between two records. So in this case it is employer of, right? So employer of and parent of. I've got two relationship, employer of, parent of. So basically rel type is nothing but employer of, parent of, and since this is a foreign key to CRBO rel type table, so what CRBO rel type table will contain? What CRBO rel type table will contain? It will contain employer of, parent of. Or do we expect anything else? No, nothing else. That's it. So basically in hierarchy we have three system tables. Try to understand. CRBO, BO, class. You know this table very much because this is this table. Okay, this table. And what is this table? Basically this is a system table. This will contain just two values, person, organization. Then the second type of table is nothing but my CRBO hierarchy table. This is a dummy table. It will contain only one value, always one value called as customer. So this one is dummy. Okay, not really important. Then the last table is CRBO rel type. CRBO rel type, which is something that will contain this relationship, employer of, parent of. So this will contain employer of, comma, parent of. So understand that the whole hierarchy revolves around these three system tables. You should remember, you must remember the name of these three system tables. It's mandatory. Okay. So I told you, right, normal base object and ERBO difference is there are four foreign keys. Okay. So now you have idea on this. Right? And if I want to join the party table and party RL table, this is how we'll join the party table and party RL table. That's how I'll join the party and party RL table. Okay, you can see it's like a self join, party party RL, row ID object to party ID 1, row ID object to party ID 2. Okay, and this 3 describes the system tables. Okay, so what you do is today we'll have a bit longer session, so you go through this and we'll be back at after. I'll give a break of 10 minutes. Just go through it, otherwise you can have your coffee or tea something. So after 10 minutes, so it will be 7:35. Okay, back at 7:35. So we'll go through the hierarchy at 7:35. Okay, this is a short break. Okay, okay, right. Right, so theoretically we have seen that hierarchy, we have seen theoretically two things. Okay, so I told you hierarchy, what is it and all those things, and then we have technically seen some details. But basically hierarchy is all about, you have this table. Okay, the objective is to create another table called as c underscore party underscore rl, and these two, they constitute the hierarchy. Okay, but to do that we also need to create these system tables plus configure it. Right, now let's see the configuration. Whatever we have seen theoretically, let's try to do that. So go here to class 1. So normally you can see I've got these tables. So I have two options. Okay, option 1, I can convert this party table to, see this, what is this party table? Currently we are having this party table, right? This is a base object. Okay, I can convert this base object to entity base object. So base object I can convert to an entity base object. If I do that, what will happen? You will see just one foreign key will be added here. That's it. I can do that, or else I can create a fresh EBO, entity base object. Let's see both. Okay, go to the hierarchies here. Can you see these three tables? CRBO BO class, CRBO hierarchy, CRBO rel type. I think you can see these three tables, right? So these three tables are created um, when you enable hierarchy. For example, if I go to lab 1, is it there? It's not there, right, in lab 1. So I can just take a lock. So once I've taken a lock, clicked on hierarchies. 1 minute, the tables, it's not created. Oh, it's created, sorry. It's there already. Let me go to lab 2. Okay, in lab 2 also it is created. Okay, let's say if you go to an empty ORS and if you click on hierarchies, then it will ask you, do you want to create hierarchy tables? You just say yes. Yes, I want to create hierarchy tables. If you do that, then it will create these three tables. How it will create? I mean, the system will do it. You don't have to do anything. System will just create these tables. That's how these three tables are created. By default, it will not be there. If you just go and click on hierarchies, it will create it. Okay. So these are the three tables that we talked about. Now to configure hierarchy, you go to hierarchies and in entity base object, click on first step. So we'll go step by step. So first step is either create a entity base object or convert a base object to entity base object. First let's check convert. Okay, so right click, say uh, convert base object to entity base object. Choose whatever you want to convert. I want to convert party table. So convert to entity base object, just say okay. So if you want to do that, enable state management. Okay, state management means dynamic timeline. So SCD type 2. Okay, slowly changing dimensions type 2 logic. that you should enable. Okay, enable it, save it. Now try, should work. Party. Okay, so it is asking me to choose which column do you want to choose as the foreign key. In our document, the foreign key is the party type. Okay, person organization. So we will choose the party type. Choose this code and choose the party ID, party type column. Okay, the following column already exists. Okay, so you understood, right? I have chosen the party type, and party type will be the foreign key to CRBO BO class table. Okay, just say okay. The following column already exists but are not correct. So it is saying it's not correct because I think it's nullable probably. So you just make this column as not null. Okay, so remove this null label here. Just mark it as, yeah, so I've removed null label. Now it should work. Now if I go back to hierarchies and try to create it, party, convert to normal base object, then always choose the code and then this one is party type. Say okay. Cannot convert party base object, following columns already exist but are not correct. It is not taking the column because this column, 1 minute, there is something wrong with this column, or otherwise if you have data then also it will throw problem, but I don't think we have any data. So null label, uh, okay, first of all let's do this, then we'll see this. Create a EBO from scratch. So to create a EBO from scratch, go here, hierarchies, right click, create new, say new entity base object. Let's say I'll name it as party underscore hierarchy. Okay, and configure this and name it as party type because that's our foreign key, right? Party type. Say okay. Right. Now that creates the this table, party type. So where can I see this table? Party hierarchy table. Where can I see this? To see the table, go to schema and click on, my power is gone. I'm not sure, it's throwing some battery error. So if my system shuts down, then we will stop the session. But let's continue as of now. Okay, so this is the table that was created, party hierarchy. Can you see this? Is it clear? Party underscore HIER. That's what is created. Okay, so you can see this, that party type varchar 255. So that was the problem actually. Okay, the party type must be varchar 255. So we can also convert this. Can we do that? Yeah, we can convert this. So make it 255. Then try it once. Should work. So this is a new table. This is I'm converting. Go to hierarchies and try to convert now. Will it work? Party type. Okay, it's not throwing any error now. I think it will work. Okay, it worked. Okay. So now I have converted this party to EBO, entity base object. Clear? How do I know? So this is how I know. If I right click here, the remove button is gone. Can you see? If you right click on contact, then remove will be there, but you can't delete a hierarchy object. You have to revert it back and delete. Okay, so anyway, this is not necessary, I think. So how to delete this? I want to delete this table, remove, I mean. So go to hierarchy. First convert this to a normal revert. Just say revert. So I'm converting this to a normal base object. Then I can remove that here. Okay, that's how you remove the table. Okay, now, so this table is not a normal base object now. It's an entity base object. How do I know? So how can I find out? If you go to relationship, you will see that party type. See here, somewhere it will be party type. Can you see this clearly? Party type is a foreign key to this table. Can you see this? It's clearly mentioned here. Okay, so that's what it is, right? Now that completes the creation of entity base object. Okay, so go back. First step is creation of this table, or create or convert this table. Second step is you need to add the person organization. You know person organization, right? Person organization. What is that? Party type. In MDM we call it as entity type. So add, or say like add entity type. That is nothing but party type. So add the entity type. Right click. Say add entity type. Okay. So what do I want to add? I want to add something like person. Two things I want to add: person organization. Person organization, and you can choose a fancy color. Choose any color and just choose an icon for person. Why would I need an icon? We will see. When it displays a person, you will see this icon. So this is the small icon, this is the big icon. Okay, small, big. You can also import your icons. So if I save this, can you imagine what will happen if I save this? If I save it, you can expect an entry in this table. So this is system table is there. Select start from C underscore RBO. If you remember, BO class. This table is there, right? It's blank. But if I go and save it, one second, let me close this. So if I go and say save, then you can expect an entry here. So can you see what is the entry? Person. I told you, right, this table will contain just two entries, person, organization. Now let's create the organization. Then organization will also be created there. Organization. So there will be icon for organization already. Yeah, small. Organization. So if I say save, then you can expect one more entry here. So here I go. Organization. Person organization. Two entries. Okay. Just two entries. So that completes the configuration of this tab, entity objects. Okay. So we have created entity base object and entity type. Now create the hierarchies. So this one is dummy. Okay. So say add hierarchy and say just like customer. Say just a customer. Okay. Now if I do that, Then where can I expect an entry? In which system table can I expect an entry? Here I go. So I should expect an entry here. Just save it. Here I go. Here I can see an entry. So this is just a dummy table. It will always contain one entry. This is just like a folder kind of concept. You know folder, right? So this is like a folder kind of concept. Okay. So sorry. So the second step, this step is done.
So why do we create for the dummy purpose?
It's used to track the hierarchy. So all of these things is will report under customer. Okay. It's like folder. Before you create files, you have to create a folder so that you will put all the files in that folder. So that's why we create this, to group all of them in this hierarchy. Okay. And since this step is done, these two steps, you can move ahead to relationship. Relationship object, it's all about creating the table called as C party RL. So there is something called a C party RL. You have to create that table. So say add new relationship object. So our objective is to create party underscore RL. That's what our objective is. So say relationship based object. What is the difference between entity based object and relationship based object? Here I have one foreign key. Here I have 4 foreign key, which is mandatory. That is the difference technically. Then go ahead, name the table C this is party underscore RL. Okay. Now this thing you know already. Till this you know. What is this? This is the syntax of a normal base object. So you know this. Now this thing is new for you. So this thing till this is new for you. And what is that? This one is simple. I told you, right? There will be 4 foreign keys. So if you go here, 4 foreign keys we talked about, right? So here I said that there are 4 foreign keys. Party ID 1 is a foreign key to the party table. Party ID 2 is again a foreign key to party table. Okay. Then hierarchy type dummy foreign key to CRBO hierarchy, and rel type is a foreign key to CRBO rel type. So this section is all about configuring the foreign key. That's what it is. This is right. So party ID, and I will name it as party ID 1 and party ID 2. Okay. Then so these two are foreign keys. We have configured 2 foreign keys now. Okay. These two we have configured. Now we'll be configuring hierarchy type and rel type. Okay. So foreign key for hierarchy is this configuration, this 3 thing you need to configure. And I would like to configure the hierarchy to the code instead of row ID object, because row ID object is just a numerical value. It's meaningless. So let's do it to the code, and you can leave it like that, no problem. And this one also to the type, and you can say rel type code, you can just leave it like that. That's okay. And just say okay. This will create one table called as C party RL. Can I see this? Where can I see the structure of C party RL? To see the structure, go to schema. You can't create the table in schema, but you can see the structure. That you can see. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of which these are the 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? 4 columns I've got. Okay. So Go here, and now you need to create something called as entries. In these entries you need to create employer of, parent of. Why? Because that's the procedure. That's how you need to configure the hierarchy. So create employer of, parent of. So to do that, right click, say add relationship type. Add relationship type. Be careful here. The relationship type is employer of. Just copy this. Employer of, employer of. From what to what? From what to what? See here. From organization to person, it is employer of. Why organization to person? Because IBM Cloud is a organization, Sunil is a person. So the relationship is from organization to person. Okay. So from organization to person, the relationship is employer of. Just choose this hierarchy and save it. Choose a color, save it. So since I have done it, where can I expect an entry? Which system table? Now the third type of table. CRBO, real type, right? So here I go, employer of. We have to create one more entry, that is parent of. From organization to organization, it is parent of. Okay. So from organization to organization, organization, this is parent of. And save it. As soon as I save it, you can expect an entry here. Here I go. Parent of, employer of. So you must remember the name of these three tables. This is the key of hierarchy. Okay. Now once that is done, 1, 2, 3, 4, this configuration is done. Now you have to configure something called as profiles. But before doing that, you have to create packages. Understand? You have to create packages. This might be a bit strange that you have to create packages, but directly data, you cannot access the data from the base object. You must access it via package. And can I create the package here? So here, can I create the package? No. You must create the package here only. Okay, it's mandatory. So right click here, say add new package. You understand, right? Package is mandatory because directly base object you can't use it. So first create package for this table. Table is party. So first you create a query. Okay, this query qu underscore party. See, I told you, again I'm telling you, it's the same as this only, but the thing is you must create it here. I think packages are already there. Let's remove them and create it. Otherwise it will create confusion. You can't use the same package. Sometimes it will allow, but still it's a risk. Okay, add new package, this, then query, or you could I could have created new queries and packages, but that would have created confusion. So that's why I'm creating this. A query with the specified name already exists. Okay, I delete the packages. One moment. Okay, go back now, try. Okay, we created, right, query group. Can use it and choose the table qu underscore party pkg package underscore party. We are creating the package here. Choose all the columns. We will just choose the important columns, not all the columns. Test is not important. Consultation is important. That's it. Just a finish. So that creates a package name pkg party. Okay. So that should be fine, right? For address and contacts, you can do that later. Not needed now. Then last step, final step is to configure the profiles. If you do that, then it's done. Okay. So in profile, you just need to add this relationship types. So if you remember employer of parent of, you just need to go here, choose this and say save it. As soon as you save it, you will see two plus buttons here. Okay, just observe it. Save it, you will see plus buttons here. Can you see this? So here you have to do some configuration. That is the final step. Okay, this is slightly different, complex, but one second, I forgot to create one more package. You need one more package that is for the RL table, C party RL table. So go ahead and create C party RL table. Party RL table. Just choose consolidation indicator, finish. Okay, so we've created two packages, party and party RL, two things. Now you create for this person package party. So I'm going to do some configurations here. You don't need to worry what I'm doing. Just think that I'm doing something. Select all. I'm just say that I'm doing this. Select all. Okay. I'll explain what is this. Do the same thing for organization. Choose this, then all. Name. It's mandatory step. Same thing I have to do here. Okay. I will explain you what is this. But with this, the configuration of hierarchy is done. Okay, that is, these are all the steps to configure the hierarchy. Just 1 minute. Just 1 second. Okay. So with this hierarchy configuration is done, now I can go to hierarchy manager and search for records. But the problem is I don't have any records. So data is not there, right? So now we need to load the data. Okay, so how do I load the data? I can use the same method like landing to stage, stage to base object, those kind of thing, or I can just do it in data manager. I'll just do it in data manager. That's easy. Go to party. We'll create some records here. So what records we'll create? But before that, I would like to do a cleanup in SOAP. I'd like to delete all the records that are there. Otherwise, that'll create a confusion. So go to SOAP. So now you will see the how to truncate a table. Truncating a table you have not seen. See, this is how you truncate a table using clean table API. But to use this API, just copy till this. Go to clean table API. What I want to delete, I would like to delete the base object dot c underscore party. Clean staging is true, or let's say false. I don't want to clean the staging table. Use truncate true. Okay, and this is class 1 and fire it. Just change this clean table here, then try. Okay, what it is saying, error during clean table. Child table is not empty. So first you must truncate the child table. So truncate the child table, done. Similarly truncate the address table now. First you must truncate the child tables, then you can truncate the party table. So now party table is truncated. Okay, so this is a fresh table now. So now I can create entries. What entries? I just want to create this data. One Sunil person, just create it. So you can leave it. Sunil, and this is person. One Sunil person. First record. Second record, two IBM Cloud organization. So IBM Cloud organization. Just say okay. Then three IBM organization. Okay, just simple data whatever we have seen I'm just creating. Now you have to create this relationship from 2 to 1 employer of. Okay, so go back to party RL table now and create this data. Okay, so from 2 to 1 the relationship is employer of. So 2 to 1 employer of and this customer. That's it. Be careful here. And 3 to 2 parent of. So 3 to 2 parent of customer. So now we have data. So if I go to hierarchy manager and try to view the hierarchy, it's not empty, just an empty search I'm doing. Now choose any record, say select. So it's loading the IBM cloud record. Okay, I want to see the complete hierarchy information of this guy, IBM cloud. So say fetch many hops, full hierarchy. So you can see there is something called as fetch one hop, means only one level of hierarchy. Many hops means two level of hierarchy. Many hops dot dot means multiple level of hierarchy. So I would like to get multiple level of hierarchy. So this is what it is. Hierarchy, whole hierarchy configuration is all about this. It's about creating a RL table so that we can view this information graphically. You can see here whatever you are seeing. So to see that information graphically, that's what we wanted. Now hierarchy configuration, you can see here clearly it is telling me Sunil is reporting to IBM Cloud, which is reporting to IBM. Simple information, right? So very simple. Now see, hierarchy configuration, you have to do it only once. Once you do the hierarchy configuration, then that's it. So you just need to load the data. When you load the data, automatically you will see the records will be related. So for example, if I load this record, the Amit, right? Let's see what happens. So I will load the Amit record, go to data manager and sorry, Amit record, Amit, and he is person, choose person, and the relationship for Amit is, just check it, relationship for Amit is 3 to 4 employer of, that is IBM is employer of Amit. So 3 to 4 is 3, sorry, 2, 4 employer of customer. Okay. Now if I go to hierarchy manager and I right click and say fetch many hobs, then here I go. I can see this. Amit directly reporting to IBM. So you understood, right? This is only one time configuration. Once you do it, then based on data, whatever data you are getting, it will automatically, the hierarchy will be configured. But this data you need to populate. Okay, this hierarchy data that you need to populate. Okay, and I told you that we have done some configuration here, this codes and all those things. This is nothing but it's simple. See, let's say if I go to person and I say like 0, don't select anything. Let's say just select the name. Okay, save it, name, and this is just the name. Save it. Okay, now remember I'm just choosing the name for person. So if I go here, search for a person, 1 minute, 1 second. See, for label, 1 minute. So this, see this label and tooltip, it's all about, so this was the earlier configuration, right? Name. Okay, now let's say what I'll do is instead of name, I will say like name and party type here. Okay, so name and party type, and here name and name, twice name. Okay, save it. Remember, name party type is label, name is tooltip. Go here, search. So I loaded this record, say full hierarchy. So can you see this, that here what you are getting? Amit person, Sunil person. Why? That's what label is. Whatever you configure in label, it will come like this. And when you stop your mouse, you see Sunil. That is tooltip. But for IBM, it is okay. No problem, because IBM is organization. We have done this configuration change only for person, not for organization. So you can see this only for person, not for organization. Okay, that's what these two things are, label and tooltip. Okay, now I've got common, search, list, detail, put, add. Common search list is nothing but, let's say if I go and for person, I will choose this as, let's say, just this, just name. Okay, save it. If I go and search, okay, see, when I'm searching for organization, it is showing me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 columns. But if I search a person, can you see? It just shows me one column. That is what search is. Similarly, you have something called as list. List. This will impact uh, the result, what results you're seeing. Okay. Similarly, I have something called as put add. That will impact what you do in this area. So in this area, whatever you do, it will impact that. But what is this? What is this area? See, whatever you are seeing here, this is the same thing, no difference. The only thing is this is graphical, this is in a tabular format. So see here, if I load this, so load any record. So can you see this? This is like in a table format. Okay. So when you click on this record, here it shows me how this is related to this and this is related to this. That's what I can see. That is, IBM Cloud is employer of Sunil. And if I click on parent of, then IBM Cloud is parent of, the relationship between IBM and IBM Cloud is parent of. Okay. But normally this tabular format is something that it's not popular. We don't use it. It's outdated. Basically, we use the graphical format only. But just for your understanding, if you want to create a record here, you can do that. You can edit a record also. If you do that, then these two will come into picture, put and add. So whatever columns you have mentioned here, that columns will come. Now why do you see like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? 0 means the first column, 1 means second column, 2 means third column. So it's like that, 0, 1, 2, 3 and that order. Okay. So you can see the hierarchy is actually simple only, it's nothing complicated, but the problem is like there are multiple steps of configuration. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then packages, then this configuration. That makes it slightly confusing. Otherwise hierarchy is simple only. Okay. So you try configuring the hierarchy. Basically try to do whatever I have done. Practice on that. Then you will understand. Right. You have any doubts on hierarchy, you can ask. Okay, so and if you didn't understand much on today's session, that is okay, because normally a lot of people don't understand hierarchy at the first attempt, but you can go through the recording, then you can easily understand the hierarchy. Okay.
Sunil,
Yeah.
okay, so as far as I know the hierarchy, how it's going to work, but how it is been integrated or something like how it will be useful in MDM concept.
That's what I'm saying. For MDM guys, it will not be useful. It will be useful when we send this data to downstream. So let's say our downstream is data warehouse application. They will request this hierarchy information. Okay.
So, but like how it's going to be useful? Right now, it's we have the party and
See, logic is simple. Let's say Cisco is there, Cisco cloud is there. Okay. So when you send this relationship between Cisco and Cisco cloud to your downstream, they will know that these two are hierarchical customers. They are not duplicates. Okay. So based on that, they will do their calculations, assuming that they are all hierarchical but not duplicates.
Okay, so in your context, it's like an if you have an example of insurance, so it will be more understandable.
So wherever it doesn't matter, it's either insurance or this, the logic is the same. So we have got person, we've got organization. Either the relation can be between person to person. Uh, in case of a customer, you will see individual relationship will come into picture between person to person. So what is the relationship between two guys have taken insurance? So what is the relationship between them? So maybe they are brothers, or they are same family, or they are husband wife. Okay, plus what is the
Mhm.
relationship between one company, one person and a company? It's the same concept. It doesn't matter, it's the same concept. But normally
Mhm.
for insurance companies, person will be of more dominant rather than like organization, because normally it's for a like individual master segment insurance policies. And then you can have many different plans. So like, let's say an umbrella plan, or like a, many different plans are there. So based on that, it's basically about finding the relationship between two persons. Okay, so that information we will create it, but it will be useful to the downstream, not to us.
Mhm.
So MDM hierarchy is useless for us because it's not useful anything as such. Okay, but the downstream application for them, it's very important. So that is why we
So
created.
so at this moment, like we done a manual addition of the data
Yeah, we have done manual addition of
for
data,
the hierarchy.
right? So
So how
yeah, so we have done
do we
manual
need
addition of data.
to do the manual addition, or we just
No,
need to
no.
upload the data?
See, in real time, you won't do any manual addition. You have to load it from landing to staging like that. Okay. When you're
Mhm.
loading, just one precaution. I'll show you how to load the data. See, when you're loading this, there is one key. This is a foreign key. You know this. Party type is a foreign key. So when you're creating
Mhm.
the staging table, you must configure foreign key for this column party type. Okay. So go here
Mhm.
and choose this, and party type, this is CRB or BO class, right? And it's
Mhm.
a foreign key, and it's a direct key to base object. You don't need to do cross reference, direct key. Say okay. Okay, and similarly do the same thing for all. Okay, for all, this is all about party table. Since there is one foreign key, you configure one lookup. For party RL table, you can imagine there are four foreign keys. So then you
Mhm.
need to configure four staging table. So add a staging table, say stg underscore party underscore RL underscore CKR. So now you must configure foreign key for all of this. Choose all. And for all of
Mhm.
this, you must configure foreign key. Party ID 1, party ID 2, that you know already. Because that's the same thing you have done for address and contact. So go ahead and do the same thing. For whatever we have done for address, contact, this is the same thing. Right? And these two are direct lookups. Okay? So go ahead and no need to go through PKSRC object. Directly you can configure the lookup. This also you can configure it directly. So these two are like old method. This one we are
Mhm.
directly doing it. We are not going through PK like cross-reference table. Directly we are hitting the base object.
Mhm.
And when you are loading the data in the staging table, you need to provide hierarchy code as customer. Relationship is nothing but whatever it is here. That is employer of and parent of. Okay. Now, what
Mhm.
about party ID 1, party ID 2? You need to provide the source key like CKR8011, CKR8022. That thing you have to provide here. That is the only difference. Otherwise, it's the same.
Okay, so it will work like an lookup function. It
Yeah.
will. get the code from different and it will give the value.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you practice. If you have any doubts, we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Okay, right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.